So welcome everybody. You're watching the replay. This is trends and tips for work, workplace, and the workforce. So because of COVID, a lot of things have happened in the workplace, and we're having this conversation for every employer who's looking to increase productivity and of course rapid success in business, regardless of how regardless of how the world turns out or situations happen and all of that. This is also for employees and career professionals. You already know that you're not going to do entrepreneurship or anything, you're just really good with working a 9 to 5. Then you want to pay attention to what we'll be discussing tonight, so that it will help you level up as an employee who is definitely going to be indispensable. And of course, you're probably wondering, is it possible to be indispensable? Absolutely. I mean, I have a story myself on my own journey, but that's not why we're here today. So it's very, very possible to be indispensable. Thank you so much for joining. Please feel free to share. This is good stuff for forward-thinking people. Trust me, this is good stuff for forward-thinking people. Hi, my guys are fine and press hello. Okay, so I'll just do another 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then we're just going to start. In 2020, that's in 2020 COVID year. It was this year in January that a report was released that there were 255 million jobs that went away with the pandemic. And somebody's wondering what's meaning of went away with the pandemic. So 255 million people lost their jobs due to the pandemic. And now we're saying that we're in a VUCA world, and so you want to understand how to navigate this uncertainty in quotes. And once you know the trend, and I'm going to be sharing not just the trend with you, I'm also going to be sharing the things that you should do or that you can do as a result of this trend. Because trust me, things are going to be changing rapidly, and you want to be in your element. You want to be in your element and not be afraid if they're going to sack you, not be afraid if you're going to lose your job again, not be afraid if you're going to lose your source of income. So, alright, so just 1 minute and we're just going to start. So you can just tell me where you're joining from, and I'm just going to say hello to you. Just tell me where you're joining from. I'm in Lagos. Am I in Lagos? Should I tell you where I'm at? Okay, so you just tell me where you're from. Oyin, hi. Brit Josepho, welcome. Of course, my people are fine impressed they're here. Oh, Grandma, welcome. Nikki, welcome. Alright, guys, just feel free to share with your friends, especially those ones who are tired of the workspace, if you know what I mean. So when we started the Boss Intelligence series, and of course we're still doing the Boss Intelligence series, what we're doing with the Boss Intelligence series is to help you look beyond your environment. And I know that a lot of us work in spaces where, for example, you love your job, but it doesn't just seem as if, in quote, maybe your boss doesn't like you, or it feels as if you're feeling choked in your work environment. Now, what COVID has done is to now, it revealed some gaps, and so you cannot just focus on, and I'm not downplaying how you feel with your work, but you cannot now just focus on how you feel at your job and then not be as productive as you should be because of what you think is going on in your workspace. Do you understand? And so one of the things that COVID has helped us to accelerate is the fact that if you begin to have a shift in perspective, then you can thrive above what you think you're currently facing, and then become that employee who is globally relevant. So you're not just trying to work on yourself because of this workspace. You're not working on yourself, and you're growing, especially because there are other opportunities for you in the global space. I have somebody who is really close to me who used to work somewhere in Nigeria, and now during the pandemic started working with an organization outside Nigeria, and it had to do with some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'll be sharing 8 trends with you. I'll be sharing 8 trends about the workspace, 8 trends about the workplace, 8 trends that you should be prepared, to come face to face with. And if you're an employee, an SME, you're an SME CEO, founder, you want to really pay attention to this. If you know anybody in the government, senior officers and team leads, you want to ask them to also join, because this is going to shape how we do work in our different spaces. So number one thing that you want to know about trends, workplace trends, is that, so before some of you joined, I gave a background. Before I go to the number one thing, I gave a background and said that in 2020, because of COVID, 255 million jobs, according to the United Nations International Labour Organization, 255 million people lost their jobs. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying that shows us the level at which job has evolved, or work has evolved, or the workspace has evolved and will keep evolving. And so the number one trend that you want to pay attention to, that will be happening and keep happening. In fact, this is one of the biggest trends that will be happening in the workspace. This is one of the biggest trends that you have to prepare for. You have to consistently prepare for this one, and it's the fact that offices or workspaces are going to become hubs of innovations. That means that you cannot have a "this is how it is." You cannot have a "hey, Mrs. Fagiri, hey." You cannot have a "this is how we're working, this is how it's going to be." So if you're an employer, you want to pay attention to that and navigate the trends, navigate the things that are happening in the global workspace. So say, for example, you're an organization that used to do local. You want to pay attention to how you can do global now. Yes, you can do local products. You want to start thinking about how you can reinvent yourself, reinvent your team, and begin to do things on a more global level, right? So the first thing is that the workspaces are going to be hubs of innovation. You're gonna have to reinvent products, reinvent services, reinvent processes. So you're consistently a creative organization. So this is not the time to say, oh, what we do is just product creation or manufacturing. Oh, this is what we do is that, or this is what we do is we do design and that's all. No, you're gonna consistently have to innovate. So say, for example, you are an interior decoration company. One of the things that you want to begin to look at when you're looking at workspace is, okay, so if I'm going to design a workspace, I have to design somewhere that's going to be for people who, because again, not everybody will be going to work as much as we used to. And so you want to design the space where people who are going to come to work will be there, right? And it's going to be called like a quiet place. And then you also want to design a place that will be for discussion, and of course those places will be far apart, so the people who need the silence and the decorum will be in one place, and the people who need to have conversation, discuss, deliberate are going to have their own space, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that will become a priority as a trend is the mental health of employees. So this is two-faced. As an employer, you want to pay attention to your employees' mental health, and you want to create strategies around it. What can you do to ensure that those who are working for you are mentally fit? Because we're now in a world where people are scared, people are unsure, people don't know what to expect, and you want to create an environment that they can thrive in. And most times humans thrive in a place that humans thrive in security. So if they know that, oh, my job is safe, I have this job, there's nowhere that I'm going to, then I want to focus on what I'm meant to be doing. The other side to this as an employee is, if we're saying that the trend there's a trend that is going to be on the increase, and it's the mental health trend, then you want to pay attention to your own personal development, because before a boss or before an employer can say that, oh, I want to ensure that you're not going anywhere, then you have to prove yourself as one who doesn't have anywhere to go to. Do you understand? And so yes, I'm going to be talking about how employers should invest in the development of their employees. But as an employee, what are you going to do to ensure that even if you stand up today and say, you know what, I'm not working in this place again, you're guaranteed the job? Do you understand? So this is not the decade, or this is not the time where you're moving from job to job. In fact, it would take a lot of work for you to move from one job to the other. This is the time where you want to really focus on how you grow and be very intentional about it. So I said having a strong mental health strategy will become a critical priority. So what is going to be that security point for you when it comes to your job? You have to be healthy in your mind, you have to be focused, you must have a vivid picture of what you want out of life. And trust me, once you can have a vivid picture of what you want out of life, and I choose my words carefully, not out of the job, out of life. Once you have a vivid picture of how you want your life to be, it's gonna guide you in how you choose what you want to do and where you want to do what you want to do. The number 3 thing is that companies will continue striving to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you're saying, so how do I do this? That means you want to level up your skill. If companies are now looking at, okay, so we don't have to have somebody who is working just in our space, and we want to begin to look outside our country and, you know, just include people from the outside world into our space, because the world now accepts or has created a platform for what's it called, global work. Then you want to, as an employee, level up your skill. So my question to you now is, as an employee in your current space, in your current place of work, how can you, or what are you doing to ensure that you meet up to the standard of a global brand? How do you want to be seen in the global space? So this is not about, oh, I know my job, I can work. No, it's no longer enough. It is no longer enough. So I think it was last week, I was on an international podcast, and before the person started to say anything, he said to me, he says, even though we have said that we are working in the global space, I realized that what we've been doing all along is just invite white nationals. And so we're beginning to look outside of our country, outside of our system, outside of our nation, to speak with people who are on the other side or in the other parts of the world, and that are doing exactly what we're doing, or they're doing kind of what we're doing. So you want to be in that space where you are recognized, recommended as someone who is relevant in what you're doing. That will take you leveling up your skill. You cannot joke with personal development in this coming decade. When you level up your skill, you also increase the quality of your life to the standard to which you've designed your life. So I was saying in the previous trend that how do you see your life? What's the design of your life that you see? If you have that vivid picture, then it's going to guide you in the kind of things that you put yourself through when it comes to education, reschooling, information, knowledge, resources, and all of that. The number 4 thing is that companies will begin to have a social conscience. So we know social media, we know social inclusion, we know social interaction, but organizations will begin to have social conscience. And one of the things that will foster this is you as an employee. What are your contributions to societal issues? Do you have anything to say about the things that are happening in the world? If you do have something to say about the things that are happening in the world, then maybe you want to start to say them, use your social media platforms. And of course, you have to know your brand values. That's the company you work for. You want to know their values and walk in that line. This is not the season, or this is not the decade or the time in the world where you're doing stuff, if you're a career person, where you're doing stuff outside the value of your organization. It's not possible. Social media provides us the platform to air our views. It gives us a voice, it gives us a face, just helps us to interact as much as we want to, give our opinions as much as we want to. But the question will now be, does it put you in the face of your company? That means, are you representing your company's brand? In this in all of this that we're saying, your company's brand or your company's vision has to be one with yours. So what are you looking for? What are you looking to do? Are you just dropping your opinions everywhere on the internet, and you're not really paying attention to how it aligns with what your company is doing, what they believe, what they think, what they expect? And so the next trend, which is trend number 5, is that the rapid transformation of technology will continue. And so reskilling will become the foundation of the economy. So this means if you have a certain skill today, you have to keep reskilling. You have to keep finding ways to evolve. You have to keep reinventing yourself. Do you understand? And so for employees, the World Economic Forum says that for organizations that are going to be successful, you want to invest deliberately, intentionally in the development of your employees. For employees, you want to pay attention to your own development according to the life that you have designed for yourself. So gone are the days where you would study one course and then work in a totally different environment and choose not to grow yourself. So what we're doing at Pine Empress is to help you see how, even if you did something different or you studied something different from what you're doing right now, number 1, design your life. Number 2, skill up to the point that you get to the standard of the life design that you have created. Number 3, you want to continue learning. So we're envisioning that if you start from a, say, customer service rep, you can grow onto a manager. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're proposing. That's why we're doing what we're doing, right? So you want to be what's the word now, indispensable, regardless of the fact that technology is going to take over. And even though it looks like, artificial intelligence is going to be the big thing, and you're almost scared that, okay, so how am I going to keep my job? The number 1 thing that is going to keep your job and keep you where you are, or even promote you in your job, is how far and how fast you reskill, how thirsty you are for knowledge, how you're embracing the knowledge that you need for where you want to, or where you want to be. Number 6. Also, before I go to number 6, companies will need to reskill employees to prepare them for new tasks and new responsibilities. Remember that I said the first trend is innovation. And so new processes, new products, new services, new ways of doing things, new markets, trends, new activities, new priorities. And so because of all of these innovations, employees, you cannot assume that your employers, you cannot assume that your employees know what you want them to do. You have to take intentional steps to ensure that they're growing and that you're indeed skilling them up for tasks and responsibilities that you're expecting from them. Trend number 6. Companies will need to prepare their workers for skills and capabilities needed to maximize productivity. So the organizations, you have to prepare and provide knowledge resources, including digital access, to meet the skills and the responsibilities that you're going to be introducing to your team. So say that if 255 million jobs were lost in 2020, and say in a company where we used to operate, say 50 to 100 staff, and you're gone down to 20 to 50, it means that one person will be doing what probably 3 or 4 people used to do. And of course, because that one person is doing it, technology is definitely assisting the person. Now, you cannot assume that that person has all the resources that they need at the tip of their finger. You have to provide those resources. And I hear somebody saying, yes, tell my employer, tell my employee. So if you're learning anything, please just type it in the comment section before I go to trend 7 and trend 8. And I hope that I am not too fast. I hope that you're getting it. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm just trying, let me just see how many people I can say hello to. Welcome. Okay, so trend 7. Companies get to determine the drive of their workers by how much they can direct and support the workforce with new priorities and new work routines. You determine how fast your team will go. You determine, even team leads, you determine how those who are under you, your colleagues, are going to go. You determine how fast they will go. You cannot leave them to figure it out on their own. And finally, trend 8. There needs to be a reinforcing of roles. So over and over again, you need to keep saying, this is what you're meant to do. This is what you're meant to do. As an employer or as a team lead, you need to keep reinforcing the roles, letting them know that this is what is expected from them. Yes, there are KPIs, but you need to keep, helping them to remember and also position themselves in a place where it fosters a sense of agility. They are able to adapt, they are able to switch, they are able to move swiftly and easily. And at the end of the day, this will cause the organization to be a resilient organization. So those are the 8 trends. I don't think that I have to go over it again, but I said that the biggest trend is that companies will become hubs of innovations and social interaction. This is not just, it's not a fluke, it's not something that will not happen, it's already happening, and we're seeing it happen, and that's why you're here tonight. Okay, so I've given you the trends. So let me just quickly give you the tips. One, I'm going to give you 3 for employees. I'm going to give you 3 for employers and then 2 for employees. 2 things for employees are all professionals that you need to pay attention to going forward. So if you're a job seeker, you want to chill and wait for me to share this with you. If you're a career professional, you want to wait and let me share this with you. And if you're an employee, you want to see or listen to the 3 rapid and productive moves that you need to make as a forward-thinking company so that you can build the success that your company or that you desire for your company. So take a sheet, and as an employee, take a sheet and have divide 1 page into 2 and have stop and start. Stop and start. So number 1, I said 3 rapid and productive moves that you want to make as a forward-thinking company so that you can get the success and level of productivity that you deserve for your company. Number 1, stop talking about the purpose and the vision of your business alone. So you don't come and say, oh, this is the purpose of this business, this is the vision of this business. No, it is no longer a thing. It's no longer something that would drive the people. It's something that would more even push them in a place where they feel that they are not maybe enough to do what they're meant to do. So stop talking about the purpose and vision of your business alone. Then move to start. Start creating a nexus between your people, that's your staff, your clients, your suppliers. Start creating a nexus between your people, your purpose or your vision, and their own purpose. So that thing that we used to see on company websites or organization websites where they say, oh, we allow you do what you want to do, allow you grow in your career profession, and then the culture of that organization, when you step in, you don't get to see that, can no longer work. It can no longer work, can no longer provide for you the kind of success that you desire for your organization. So I said, stop speaking about your purpose or the purpose of your company or the purpose of your organization alone. Start creating a nexus. Embed how your people, your purpose, and their own purpose for life culminates, so that you can get the best out of them. People, everybody, we're on this journey where we're saying, so what's in it for me, what's in it for me, what's in it for me? And even though that sounds like a selfish question, that would be the foundation upon which more employees or more people will get to deliver as much as they should for your work. As an employee, you want to define what your purpose is. See that most of what I've been saying is that you find how you design your life. Now, if you begin to do that and see that where you're working right now doesn't align, if it's something that you think you want to tweak, fantastic. If it will cause you to pull out of that job, design your life, skill up to the standard of what you desire, and then you begin to search for another job, fantastic. You cannot not be in a place where you cannot thrive. With the introduction of technology, that means it will be very easy to replace you. So you cannot work as an employee as somebody who just wants to get another source of income. You have to be aligned with, or your life's purpose has to be aligned with the purpose and the vision of that business or that organization where you work from. Employers, embed meaning into your work every day. Let every day be days that your people look forward to coming to coming to work, coming to engage your product, coming to engage your services, coming to deliver your services or deliver your products to you. Let it be that no matter how much technology will be doing in the future of work, people can do much more. We can do much more with stronger connections. So you need to create connections between what's really important for the organization, and that is the people, your purpose, and their purpose. Number two, stop downplaying your workers' contributions or their thought contributions. Stop downplaying it. If you're now having to develop or work with people who understand their purpose, and that will taking them through a journey of reskilling. If you now begin to work with people understanding their purpose, then you want to listen to their contributions. And so you need to stop downplaying your workers' thought contribution and start maximizing their thinking capabilities. Somebody said that we're not using more than 1% of our brains. And that means that there is more that your staff can deliver if they are in the right frame of mind and in the right environment where it helps them to air their views, share whatever is on their heart to the progress of the organization. So maximize their thinking capabilities, maximize their creative abilities, and maximize their energies. Understand their energies. Again, that would require you bringing in resources that will help them to differentiate. You need to understand their attachment energies and all of that. Okay, so you need to start maximizing thinking capabilities, creative abilities, and perspective energies. Number 3, as humans, we tend to thrive when we are certain about things, and so it is important that organizations like yours play on the power of perspective. Help your team, help your managers, help your executives to see opportunities in the midst of disruptions, which means that no matter how much the world evolves, no matter how much things change, you are able to help your people see the opportunities that your organization has within that disruption. And as an employee, your level of development and growth will help you have good perspective. So you want to pay attention to that as well. So I'm moving to employees now. The questions that you must ask yourself as a career professional going forward and as a job seeker. I said earlier when I was telling you about the trends that you cannot, so I was saying that you can no longer stay in a job where you feel like, I just have to make more money, and that's why you're doing the job. It's not going to be good for you in the long run, because now, or in the nearest future, which is even already now, organizations are looking for people who can do what machines will not do. And so if you constantly get tired of where you are and you're not doing anything about it, you're not skilling up, you're not scaling up, you're not developing, you're not growing, not doing anything, you're just there whining, then you are saying that you don't need that job anymore. And so in a world where it used to take like 5 people to do a job, 1 person can now do it. Remember that I said that earlier. Only 1 person can do it. And how can you be that 1 person? You want to ask yourself 2 questions. You want to ask yourself 2 major questions, especially if you are transitioning now to another job. The number 1 question is, why do you want the role that you're applying for? Why do you want the role that you are applying for? If you're already in the system, the work system, so the number 1 question for you is, why are you in the role that you're in right now? Why are you in customer service? Why are you in HR? Why are you in operations? Why are you in accounting or the accounting department? Why are you there? Why are you the salesperson? Why are you there? You want to really answer that question, and be sure that it's not just about making making money or having to leave your house every single day. Why are you there? The best thing you can do, the best gift that you can do for yourself tonight, is to answer that question sincerely. The number 2 question is, why do you want to work for that company? Why do you want to work? That's if you're a job seeker. Why do you want to work for that company? What is it about the exposure? Is it about the level of, is it the culture? Is it what you have heard? Is it what you know? Is it something you have seen? Why do you want to work for that organization? Now, it won't be super great for you to be selfish about that answer, because if an interviewer is in front of you, you want to sell to them ideas that you're already developing that can grow and increase the productivity of that organization. Remember that if what you're saying you can do, machines can do it, then you are easily replaceable. And the point here is that you are indispensable. So you must take a stand. Your answers must stand out. Your answers must stand out, and they must be very sincere. So what is it about the company that drives you? What is it about the company that draws you in to the point that you cannot imagine yourself working anywhere else? The future of work is going to keep evolving, because again, technology is evolving, but the way it's going to be evolving is going to be going on a high pedestal, and so nothing is going to drop. Nothing that has happened now is going to how do I say this? Nothing that's going to happen now is wasted. That's number 1. And so you want to pay attention, say, okay, so if COVID happened now, and these are the things that have shifted, then I need to position and posture myself for whatever it is that is going to come in the nearest future. So what is it that's going to differentiate you from technology? Your mind, the purpose of your life. How do you want to position yourself to be in a place where once anything is needed, you're relevant, you're indispensable, and you're that go-to person in your workspace. And so let me just quickly leave this one more tip before I go. If you're in a space right now, you're in a workplace right now where it seems as if what's it called? And you're saying, oh, nobody recognizes me, nobody's recommending me, oh, I can't seem to know why everybody doesn't like me, and you're just saying so many things about how bad you feel about being in that place, but you know that you really love the job. You're not doing it because you just have to leave your house. You really love the job. Then what you want to do is pay attention to what your boss is saying. What are they complaining about? Because most times your boss is complaining about something, or your team is complaining about something, you're not paying attention to it. You are giving them what you think will work when they're asking you for something different. So you need to know how to do the right thing at the right time, at the right pace, to meet the right need. That's one tip that you should hold on to. I hope that this will help you. You can please feel free to share with your friends who are working in different spaces. Tomorrow we're gonna come again for another 30 minutes of life, and I already overshot my time. I didn't plan to do 1 hour at all. So you want to come back tomorrow, where we're going to be talking about designing your life. I'm going to be talking and taking you through the journey of designing your life, so that you can begin to look at how you fit in where the future of work is concerned. I hope this has helped you. Feel free to share, and of course feel free to leave something in the comment section. I see you, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you. Does anybody have any question for me? Let me know if you have any questions for me, or I'll just say good night. Remember, tomorrow we're designing, my pleasure. We're doing designing your life tomorrow, so that you can be better positioned to be that person or that employee, that staff who gets to wake up every single day with the thirst and the zest, to go to work, because there's another problem to fix, and there are solutions, or there are problems that are going to be brought your way, and then you're going to become a solution provider. There's nothing as sweet as being a solution provider. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I get to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.